We are rolling today in Los Angeles at UCLA. It's a lovely day, sunny, as it usually is in Los Angeles. And Cynthia is about to share her personal commitment with us today.
Hi, my name is Cynthia.
Hi, Cynthia.
The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others, as Gandhi once said. I feel that through my volunteer experiences, I found myself. So I totally agree with this quote. I found my purpose. So today I want to share with you my personal commitment to volunteering. I feel that it's important, and those of you that have volunteered will agree that receiving a sincere thank you or a smile can make up your whole day. So the first reason why I am committed to volunteering is because when I was a freshman in high school, my former science teacher came into my classroom and asked me to see him after class. So when I went, he told me that the school was trying to host a blood drive and that they needed volunteers to help organize and promote blood donation. So he volunteered me. So during lunch, we had a meeting with the rest of the volunteers, and he told us that our job was to promote blood donation through making posters and classroom presentations about why people should donate blood and common myths and misconceptions and the requirements to be able to donate. So the day of the actual blood drive, I felt great because we reached the number of donations we wanted, and I felt that as a group of volunteers, we made a difference by helping save a life, donating blood, and encouraging others to donate blood. And the second reason why I am personally committed to volunteering is because also when I was in high school, I joined Building Healthy Communities, which is a project that advocates for health access for all. And we put on health fairs. And one of the many people we served was my mother. At that time, she didn't have medical insurance, so she wouldn't go to the doctor for like our normal checkups. So she went to our health fair and she got her blood pressure checked, and it was elevated. But of course, it could have been to like walking around from booth to booth, or to an actual like medical condition, maybe like hypertension. So throughout the next days and weeks, we kept checking her blood pressure, and it was constantly above the desired range. So she finally decided to go to the doctor. After a few follow-ups and tests, she had to be put on medication. And this encouraged her to make a lifestyle change that influenced my whole family. And I realized how important that one blood check at that one health fair motivated us to do this as a family. So since then, I've been committed to volunteer my time. And I've joined multiple organizations. One of them is Burn Hope. Burn Hope is an organization here at UCLA that collects toys, clothes, and food donation and takes them to an orphanage in Mexico. I was captivated since the first time I went, and I realized that I wanted to be involved for the years to come. And I'm actually going to be one of the directors for next year. So if you have any questions, you could ask me. I've also joined Chicanos for Community Medicine here at UCLA. And we're a group that also hosts health fairs in underserved areas of Los Angeles and in Tecate, Mexico. We also educate the community about organ and tissue transplants, HIV, and AIDS. And I remember how one of those health fairs was the one that helped my mother and my family make a lifestyle change for the better. Lastly, I've also joined the nursing program at Ronald Reagan. And right here in this program, I've met a lot of lovely patients and busy nurses and stressed out nursing students and other fellow volunteers. And every time I leave the hospital, I leave with something valuable that I learned, whether it is to how to serve a patient better, or tips about like master school programs, or a personal story that one of the patients decided to share with me. So, in summary, I've shared with you 2 reasons why I am personally committed to volunteering, and I've given you 3 actions that I've taken to fulfill my commitment. And
There should be no doubt in this room.
There should be no doubt in this room that I am personally committed to volunteering. And I know as college students or as recent graduates, we feel pressure to know exactly what it is we want to do. But sometimes it's okay to feel confused when a teacher or your parents or family members asks you what you want to be. I think it's important. It's okay to feel lost. And maybe one day you'll eventually find your passion and that thing that makes you lose the sense of time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's start in the rear today.
Hi, I'm Elliot.
Hi, Elliot.
I like how you moved in between every separate part. That way it was easy to differentiate when you were moving on from a certain topic to the next one. Like every example you gave, you moved, or every time you gave your motivation, you moved. That way it separated them into components, so it's easy to follow.
Help accentuate your pattern of organization. Improvement, please.
Improvements.
Start with your name.
I'm Farhat.
Hi, Pharaoh.
I don't know how to improve.
She was perfect.
I don't know.
Okay, thank you, Pharaoh. Well, Cynthia, let me give you some feedback. You started.
Firstly, I have to improve myself to
Okay, good.
for others.
There you go. Okay, good. A man with humility. You started with Gandhi, a rather nice quote. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. So I saw you come back to this in a rather subtle way. I would have preferred you to have re-mentioned Gandhi. He's a big name, by name. Restate the quote again in its entirety, and then say something more as you tried to say here. It would have been a little crisper and a clear sense that you're coming to full circle. Your thesis preview was fine. Your SIG statement was fine. Your first story of volunteering was Mr. Cole, who got you to do a blood drive. And it kind of got you hooked on volunteering because it worked. I don't know if did you watch the model speeches and the girl that did the blood speech? Okay, it was a real good persuasive speech on giving blood. And she got hooked in very much the same way. Her mother had breast cancer, and so she started giving blood. And she gave a half gallon, so she got a pin. But it was an interesting speech. It's under Thomas Miller Model Speeches. Take a look at it. Wasn't real personal, but still it was a reason, so we'll live with it. Your second reason was better, about your mother having high blood pressure and going to a fair and being in denial and not wanting to go to the doctor, and then finally going to the doctor and getting medicine. That was personal and private, and you were being authentic there and sharing some private stuff about your family. That was what I was after with being personal and authentic, okay? On your actions, remember to number them, everyone. My first action is, my second action is, and so forth. I like the way you talked about Tijuana and that you were captivated by it and that you want to go back and you're the director and so forth. Chicanos for medicine, same thing, good. And then nursing department, and these are all consistent with your PC. So that was fine. Summary, good. You almost forgot your conclusion, but you got it. And then I already talked to you about your tieback. Where are your 3 goals? Are they on your lap? You forgot them? If you don't have goals on your page, write them now, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what you could have done differently. You said you want to cut back on your ums When you gain your voice back, you want to be more dynamic. How'd it go?
I think I did cut back on my ums. I think last time I said it way more. And I could still improve on being more dynamic.
Yeah. But you're getting better, Cynthia. Thank you. You did a nice job. A little more personal. Thank you. Okay. Pedro. You're on. You need a stapler. Is the roll sheet circulating? Yes, it is. Thank you. Let me get you in focus, Pedro. You're a little taller than most. Okay, there you go. Not quite. I gotta do this. Pedro stands before you managing attention, communicating, respect, and nonverbal. Saying to himself, I respect my audience, really meaning it. Finding friendly eyes, middle front and center, say your name, feel the love. Start your speech.
As the famous Spanish novel El Quijote de la Mancha said, liberty is one of the most precious gifts given to mankind. And that's what I'm personally committed to. That's what I'm going to talk to you about today, about ensuring liberty to those that are deprived from it. I'm going to talk to you about inmates. So my personal commitment is to ensuring that inmates that are locked up in prison have their liberties, but they have the right by law. I will give you 2 reasons and 3 actions I've taken to my personal commitment. I think that you will learn from my experience, you will learn through my stories to have a better knowledge, a better insight of what an inmate is, of how he lives, and about how a prison is in the inside. So the first reason of me being personally committed to inmates and to their rights and living in a proper prison come from 2 stories. The first one, some of you may remember from previous speeches, I'm a law student, and in my degree we study criminal law. That's where we study murder, homicide, rape, and all the hardcore stuff. So it was on one of the classes, on one of the criminal law classes, that we were having this debate whether the Spanish government was spending too much money on inmates. If prisons were too luxurious to people that the only thing they've done to be there is harm society. So I thought that, yes, Spanish government was spending too much money. We kept seeing on the news how politicians and murderers were going to prisons where they had these big cells, where they had the gyms, they had the swimming pools, and most of the society were angry about this. So I argued with the teacher and with other classmates that for me it made no sense to spend so much money on this kind of people that didn't do anything good for society. I even said that for me it made no sense that a rape victim was paying with her taxes to the rapist gym, to the rapist food, and even his cell. So at the end of the class, the teacher came to me and said, my teacher Fernando came to me and said, okay, you are very passionate about this, but I think you are wrong. So why don't you come with me to a prison, and I'm the responsible for a month reunion with inmates. So come to me and you will see. So at the beginning, everything was just as I expected. I mean, we went through the metal detectors, we were asked to leave our belongings behind, our mobile phones, our keys, everything. We were even taught what to say to the inmates and how to say to not offend them so they didn't get violent. But everything changed when I entered the room. It was everything so different. I expected to see these huge, strong, food covered in tattoos guys with the orange suit, but it was nothing like that. It was just normal people sitting on the chairs waiting for us to come. And then surprises just kept coming. I thought I would hear like, I didn't do this, I was framed, I'm innocent, I'm not supposed to be here, I had a very rough childhood, I'm innocent, whatever. But it wasn't like that. Most of them, they just said, yes, I did committed a crime, I did wrong, I deserve to be here, and I belong here. So for me, this was a very huge impact because I got to learn that inmates and prisons are not what the Spanish media says they are. It's true, they had a swimming pool, but there was no money for water, so they couldn't swim. They had a gym, but they had to share it with all the inmates, which gave them just 20 minutes per every 3 days to work out in the gym. So that's like not having a gym. So knowing this made me feel like really angry with myself and with the media, because I had such a wrong idea of what they really were. So this made me want to take action. So at the end of the class, the teacher came to me and said, "What do you think about it?" And I said, "Okay, I was totally wrong. I apologize. I'm angry with myself and I want to change it." So I eventually get involved in this and attended these meetings. The second story goes as a consequence of the first story. So the teacher asked to me, like, if you like it, you should come to me to these other meetings with young inmates and senior inmates, where they just go together and they talk about their experience so that the younger inmates can learn from the senior inmates' mistakes. So in these meetings were a lot different, because they both agreed that they were not living how they were supposed to be. They all agreed that the cells were smaller than they were supposed to be by law. They told us about how their breaks were cut every day by maybe 5 to 10 minutes, and this may seem like nothing for us, but for them, that they only have maybe a few hours, 10 minutes is a lot of time. So this again made me feel angry, because I saw that everything I had studied in the laws, in the books, and in my degree, in reality, was not didn't match what it was supposed to do. So this led me to the 3 actions I've taken towards my personal commitment. First of all, as I said, I attended the monthly meetings with the inmates, but by now, more than 1.5 years later, I not only attend them, but I help arranging them and time inside the organization. The second action I've taken towards my personal commitment is that a group of friends and I go once every week. We try to go once a week and play a football match with the junior inmates, and this makes me feel really good, because I can see how they enjoy, and how for the young inmates this is the best thing of the week. And the third action I've taken is now in September. I've talked with my university, and we are creating an association to try and raise more awareness of the inmate situation in Spain. So in summary, I've told you my 2 stories, why I'm personally committed to the liberties of the inmates, and I've told you 3 actions I've taken towards this. So I think there should be no doubt about my personal commitment to ensuring inmates' liberties. So let's remember the famous Quixote's words and ensure that everyone has as much liberty as they can, even those who are in prison. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're in the rear. We're going along this line. Yes.
Hi, my name is Sienna.
Hi, Sienna.
I like how you really follow the structure. It's pretty clear how everything's going together.
How more or less, skipped a few, but pretty much followed the structure. Okay, well, yeah. Improvement.
I'm Daniel.
Hi, Daniel.
I guess you skipped a few. I didn't see what you skipped, but
Okay, Pedro, I like your speech. I like you telling us that you went from book knowledge to real life, and how it was an eye-opener, and it changed you. And that's always good. Let me talk about your speech and how it could be more effective. You started with one of my favorite authors, Don Quixote and the Man of La Mancha, and you quoted, "Liberty is one of the most precious gifts given to men." Yes, it is. And when men are bad, we take away the most precious gift, their liberty. And we don't do it lightly or easily. We have a trial, and we say beyond a reasonable doubt, and a lot of evidence is presented, and so forth, right? So there's a reason that the men are in prison have lost their liberty. they've done wrong to the laws of society. So, your personal commitment kind of shifted because you said today you wanted to share your personal commitment to ensure that inmates are treated correctly. Not that they have liberty, but they're treated correctly.
Yeah, but like they have the liberties, like, you know, they have their hours in the yard.
Yeah,
like,
that liberty.
The liberty.
Liberty within the prison.
Yeah.
Within the prison. I got it, yeah.
Not to go.
Not to climb over the fence or dig saw a hole in a pipe, yeah. Yeah. And I don't really hear your significant statement so much about why this is important to this audience. They should care about inmates. You in America hold the record for locking up the most, and we're trying to do something about that, release some of them, especially the non-violent ones that are in there for 2 joints, 10 years, whatever. So that would have been a sell, and I wish you had done that. On your main body, you told 2 stories. You first told the story of a classroom debate, where you took the conservative side that, hey, it's prison. It's not supposed to be nice. They're not supposed to have swimming pools and televisions and beauty salons and gymnasiums. They should be suffering. It's prison. Yeah, I get it. And your teacher wisely said you have good passion, but, passion without knowledge is, demagoguery, and he urged you to get a little more education and come to a prison. Right? Got the story right so far? Yeah. And so then you went to a prison, and it was an eye-opener because it wasn't Bubba in the tattoos telling you he was innocent. It was just some regular guys that say they did it, and they were doing their time, and it was kind of a more realistic picture of what's happening there, right? Yeah. So that was a pretty good story, and it got you involved in the organization, so you started meeting with the prisoners, and you started working with them on their liberties within the prison, as you put it. On your second story, I think you would have a little moral there, that would have been good. On the second story about older ones meeting with younger ones, I think that's a good thing. I think that was a good story. And then your actions, I like the organizing the meeting, so you've become a leader. That's good. That'll look good on your resume, too. The football matches, or as we call it, soccer. Yeah, so adapt your audience so they understand what you're doing. So you organize soccer matches, and then they play, and then they have Coca-Cola afterwards and so forth. And then you're doing something back at your university. All those actions were consistent with your PC of helping, liberty within the prison. What you skipped was how you felt about when you performed these actions. I feel really good. I feel like I'm doing something useful for society. I feel I'm making, the prisons a little better, a little more humane. Summary, conclusion, tie back could have been a little more vividly reach to the man of La Mancha, more vividly to the Liberty quote. That would be good. 2 more things. When you watch yourself tonight on YouTube, as I said to you before, This is how you talk. You don't walk purposefully. I would like to get some crazy glue and glue you to the floor. I actually like you in your next speech not to walk at all if you have to pace, right? Stand still. It's very distracting. Your canais were to have a better structure, to have a clear message, and have the correct use of movement. How'd it go?
I think that I did the first two right, but the last one.
Yeah. What is it with you and pacing? Is this you, or are you aware that you're pacing?
Yes, but I mean, like, I'm used to work when we speak. 'Cause
When I speak.
in Spain,
Spain, we walk and talk. Okay. Well, you're in America now.
I try to.
Yeah, stand still. Well, try in your final speech to walk, The first reason I want you to give blood is here. The second reason I want you to give blood is here. And here are some actions you can take to give blood and benefits back in the center. Okay? Other than that, you did a nice job, Pedro. Okay, next we'll hear from Elliot, and on deck will be Eritu? Yeah, you're next.
Hi everyone, I'm Elliot,
Hi, Elliot.
and I'm a recovering gameaholic, which is why my personal commitment is to stop gaming. I will share with you 2 reasons and 3 steps I've taken towards my personal commitment. And by the end of it, I hope most of you will join me and understand the value of resisting addictions and will possibly resist your personal destructive feelings or certain things that might harm you. Well, the first reason I don't like gaming anymore, and I'm trying to quit it, is because of my eyesight. Before, I used to have 20/20 eyesight, and that all changed with gaming. But like a frog in boiling water, you don't really notice it because it happens gradually. And for me, I hadn't noticed it until my embarrassing moment at the DMV. Now, I had gone to the DMV, I had done the written test, I passed that, took my picture, and was all set for the eye exam. And so I went there to do the eye exam. And knowing I had 20/20 vision, I was completely fine. I mean, why would I fail? So then we go there, I do the both eyes, I'm good, I pass. Right eye alone, I pass. Left eye alone, bam, I failed. And I tried 3 times with different instruments that they have, and I failed. And it was a really embarrassing and shocking moment for me, because, I mean, I had 20/20 vision, and now I didn't even pass the 40/20 vision. And so that is one of the reasons why I want to quit gaming, why I'm personally committed to quit gaming. Now, I'm glad to say now that I quit gaming, my eyesight in that eye has gone from a 3 to a 2. Now, just for reference, if your eyesight is a 5, you're as blind as a bat. So 5 is really bad. Luckily, I'm not yet there. Now, the second reason I want to quit gaming is because of the time it takes and how it changes me and doesn't allow me to express myself. One thing I noticed is that with gaming, there are objectives and there are rules. And what happens is you tend to conform to those rules because you want to get really good at it. So what I really noticed this during one of my group therapy sessions, in which at that point one of the sessions was focused on me. And so I remember the comment that came from Jennifer, and it was a really harsh comment, or not harsh, but it was a comment that stuck with me. And the comment was that you would be accepted socially by people, you're just antisocial.
Now, I don't associate myself with antisocial, which is why it really caught me by surprise. I would say I'm usually ambivert, which, for those who don't know, is a bit of between the introvert and the extrovert. It's called ambivert. So that's where I would consider myself, but it was really shocking that I changed so much due to the game in order to be to the point in which I would be called antisocial, which is why I'm glad to have quit. And now that I've quit the gaming, I've returned to my ambivert state, and I'm glad to have done that. Now that I've shared with you the 2 reasons, I want to tell you the 3 actions I've taken. Because talk, well, it's sort of cheap, because we could all talk as much as we want. Actions are what prove it. Now, the first step I took is I quit gaming by getting rid of my console and donating it, and then deleting the games off my computer. The second step I took was that I told my parents and my friends about my account details so that they could check up on me. Intrinsic motivation is really nice, but when you have that extrinsic motivation, it pushes you a little bit more. So if I ever do game, they can always look, well, I saw you were on this time, at this time to that time, you played this game, or this is what happened. They can check on me. And the third step I've taken is that I've set a schedule for myself more of the day. What I noticed is that when you have free time, addiction really starts to crave in. If you like a food, when you're free, you're really going to go for it. But if you're busy, you just don't think about it. And I'm glad that I've done this, because by doing this and quitting gaming, I've freed up my time, and I've been able to improve my life. I've been able to take care of myself and improve my physique. I've been able to commit to family and friends to spend time with them. And I've also been able to work on my own goals, like becoming an MD doctor. So overall, I'm very glad to have done it, and that's why I hope you all understand why I'm personally committed to quitting gaming. And I've told you the 2 steps I've taken and the 3 actions I've taken. I hope there's no doubt at all, and I hope in a year from now, I will still be able to tell you that I'm game-free, and that many of you will also join me in resisting any addictions and temptations we may have. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Elliot. Next. We're over here.
Hi, I'm Pedro.
Hi, Pedro.
I really like the whole speech. I think it was like a very good story, and like everyone can relate to addiction in some way or another. I like how you change from the personal commitment to the action part. Yeah, I like very much.
Thank you, Pedro. Down here, improvement.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Well, I didn't notice any major mistakes, but I like his tie back and the way he expressed his stories. So I don't know what to say about improvement. I like the speech.
Thank you, Sarah. Elliot, well, gosh, after much effort and rewriting and effort, I think you finally came on a pretty coherent and succinct, with 2 C's, explanation of something that you're personally committed to. Now, you started with the statement, hello, I'm Elliot, and I'm a recovering gameaholic. And that's a takeoff on the famous line that everyone says when they go to Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, hi, I'm Sarah, and I'm an alcoholic. Everyone has to introduce themselves that way. I would have played that up more as the play on words that you were doing. Likewise, I would have tied back more to, hi, I'm Elliot, I'm a recovering gameaholic, and with God's help, I hope I continue to recover. See? So real more vivid tie back to what you really started with would have been helpful. Your thesis preview was fine. Your sixth statement you did sell to the audience. I'm now convinced you understand a significant statement. Hooray. Now, on your first reason, your story, you told us that something, I guess, sort of personal about you. You failed the eye test at the DMV. Wasn't real personal and private, but sort of. And you were humiliated by it, and you had to take it 3 times. You kept insisting you can do it. Finally, you had to become a 4-eye and get glasses. So, the part that my BS detector went off on was your causal link to eyesight and gaming. Some people argue that your mental acuity and your peripheral vision and fields is actually improved by gaming. So I would have to see the evidence and the studies that gaming ruins your eyes. Now, it could be length of time. If you're gaming 20 hours a day and not resting your eyes and da-da-da-da-da. But, you know, there are places that give exercises, even for senior citizens, that use games to help them become better drivers, where they move their eyes from left to right and up and down and so forth. So,
would that be physical games like soccer?
No, it's computer games. So anyway, my BS detector went off on that, but still, that was your first reason. Somewhat personal. I gave you a pass on your first reason. Your second reason was better. You said to be me, and you told us that you're in psychological therapy, group therapy. Now, that was good. That was good self-disclosure. You're being authentic. You admitted, I'm in therapy. You admit, like all the rest of us, that we have problems, and it's good to talk to other people sometimes to get another perspective. There's no shame or harm in being in therapy. There used to be a stigma about it, but not anymore. So I appreciate you having the courage to say you were in group therapy. And then you told us that this girl named Jennifer said, basically said, you're antisocial. And then you came up, my bullshit detector went off again here on your answer. I'm ambivert. Whatever. But you got the story out that it shook you, and that was the important part of the story. And the important part of, because I do think that people that spend 20 hours a day on a game aren't being social with their family, with their friends, with others. You may claim you're being social with other people 100,000 miles away in India that you're playing with, but that's really stretching the definition of social. So, you worked in the talk is cheap, which a line you love, and you told us about your actions. You got rid of your computers. Yay. You started a schedule, and you did a public commitment. So you told your family and friends, I be through with games, so when they see you playing games, they can say, hey, you said you were through. So that was good. By the way, for all of your benefit, just for my camera's sake, I have a white background, so try not to wear white for the final filming, because you're just a head on my camera in the picture. On your feelings, they were good and well elaborated on about how you feel. You have a better physique, you're able to pursue your dream, your father's dream, your dream too of becoming a medical doctor, so that was good. Your summary and your conclusion were good, and I told you how to improve your tie back. your canais, working on movement, be more casual when moving instead of hopping. Be more dramatic and dynamic when pausing at key moments. Be more emotional by varying my voice and not speaking in a monotone. How did it go, Elliot?
I think I improved in all three, but I still have room to grow in all three.
Yeah, I did too. I was kind of surprised by your movement. You held off a little in the movement for more of it to be at the end, which was okay. You didn't move a lot in the beginning of the speech, which was okay. But still work on animating your voice and don't neglect the emotions. But did a better job than your first two drafts would indicate you were going to do. Thank you. Okay, that brings us to, how do you say your name?
Isotube?
Isotube, yes, Isotube, give me a moment, Isotube. Isotube is standing before, oh good, now see. Manage attention, communicating, respect, finding friendly eyes, hear the frontless hunter, say your name, feel the love. Start your speech.
Hi, I'm Isotube.
Hi, Isotube.
Karen Calabrese once said, if we don't take care of the most magnificent machine we're going to be given, then where are we going to live? If we don't take care of our bodies, we are going to reside for stability and happiness. Today I'm going to share with you my personal commitment to detox my life of all toxins. I will give you two reasons why I'm detoxing my life and 3 actions that I have taken to detox it. The first reason that I chose to detox my life is for health reasons. I am a pretty, well, for the majority of my life, basically since I was a little girl, I had really bad health habits. I would hardly eat and I starved myself the majority of the day. Certain times it was because of aesthetics, other times it was because I was just always too busy to eat. During spring quarter, I found myself waking up at 6 o'clock, between the hours of 6 to 9 a.m., and I would spend that time either studying, going to the gym, or going to class or going to work. I wouldn't eat or even think about food till about 7 p.m. at night. And by that time, it was just, let's go to the dining hall and let's eat. And I found myself being very, I found myself being very anxious. I was always tired. I was easily irritated. You know, my friends used to line, a lot of times, the Snicker commercial line, I used to take a bite because, you know, they're always so uptight, something like that. Because I never really ate, and I was always really upset, like, over any little thing that happened. And because of this, because of not eating, not getting enough vitamins, not getting enough nutrition, I was anemic for a long time. I've probably been anemic all my life because I never really ate. So my goal was to detox, not only just to detox, but to improve my healthy eating and my lifestyle. So recently I began eating a whole lot more. About 3 times a day I would have a home-cooked meal, which I would cook by myself. And I would also have snacks in between. That way I could improve my health and get all the vitamins that I needed. I find that because I've started detoxing, I've seen a whole lot of difference. I've seen a difference in my body. My eyes have gotten wider. You know, my attitude, problems that I've had with my friends, everything has changed. The second reason that I've resolved to detoxing is for mental reasons. A lot of my life, since I moved to UCLA, I've had one group of friends, and the friends that I surrounded myself with were more so on the negative side of life. I've always found myself gossiping when I was with these girls. I found myself sitting around doing nothing but talking, and because of this, I didn't have much time to study, I didn't have much time to go to the gym. Rather than being productive, I was sitting around and talking about other girls which almost made it seem like I was in competition with these girls, but these girls were also my friends. It was almost like I was in high school all over again, like I was in a high school movie. So my choice to detox in this sense was to detox my life of negative people. I took action by detoxing my life, by separating myself from these people and finding new and positive people to hang around. So the 3 actions that I have taken is like the ones I just stated. I separated myself from all the negative people in my life, and I chose to surround myself with positive and more productive people. I also ate more often, and the last thing that I did was I began to see a school therapist who I could vent to and tell my problems to, who would also give me advice and tips on what I could do to better myself and better my life. I have told you 2 reasons to
And when I performed these actions, how did I feel?
When I performed these actions, I felt good about myself. I was eating more often, so I became much more active and much more productive. I surrounded myself with much more positive and productive people, and as a result, I myself became much more positive and much more productive. I have given you 2 reasons as to why I chose to detox, and I have given you 3 actions that I have taken to detox my life. There should be no doubt in this room that I am not personally committed to detoxing, and I advise everyone in here to do it themselves, because you'll find that you're a different person, a much more healthy and much more stable person.
Thank you. Can you yell out the time at the end? Just yell it out.
4:37.
4:37. Thank you. Where are we? Did we go around? Sally, go around the roses. Yes, please.
My name is Cynthia.
Hi, Cynthia.
And I'm going to tell you what you were going to say. So it's easy.
Improvement.
Hi, I'm Deanna.
Hi, Deanna.
You could have tied back the introduction in the end and
Right. You told us from Karen Calabrese, whoever she is, it would be nice to qualify your sources, that if we don't take care of the most magnificent machine that you will ever be given, where are you going to live if you don't take care of your bodies mentally and physically? Then where are you going to reside for stability and happiness? So yeah, kind of a long quote, kind of a mouthful, but and qualify the quote, but you just, even if you said, you got to take care of your body, folks, and then tie back to that, that would have been a better sense of the bookends. Your thesis preview was fine with this exception. I was a little misled by detox my life of all forms of toxins, because I thought I was going to get a diet speech of you using the green drink, or I've had this speech, by the way, where they swore by the green drink, or the one other one did one on the coconut oil, or I don't know what the hell. Yeah, I don't know. You know, they're out to detox with. You know, so I was expecting more of a diet, but then when you said all forms of toxins, I think you could have said including people in your thesis. That would have cleared it up. So, your first reason, you basically told us that you're anemic and that you essentially have an eating disorder and a real problem with your relationship with food, and that you don't eat much or well, and that you sometimes don't eat for long periods of time, and that it's a problem. And that was very personal, and that's what I was after in this speech. So thank you for being authentic about that. That was real. That was good. The second reason for committed to detoxing my life was mental reasons, you say. And you talked about the nattery nabobs of negativity that you surrounded yourself with, the gossip gals, I call them. And finally, you cut these cancers out of your life who will bring you down and waste your time. And it gets real old fast, as I'm sure you know. It's just the same old thing. When you watch yourself tonight on YouTube, I said too, you're going to see that be a little more disciplined in the areas you're in. You kept wanting to give away the actions you've taken before you got to the action area. You were just on a flow. And then you did that a couple times. So then when we finally got to the actions, you told us that you're eating 3 times a day, which is good. You got rid of the negative people. And like our friend Elliot here, you're seeing a school therapist, which there's nothing. I admire you for your courage to say that. That's wonderful. It's good to see therapists, so that was wonderful. And then you almost forgot how you feel, but remember the success in making us speak sticky has that E in there for emotions, and that emotion draws your audience back in. So don't neglect it. Summary conclusion, I already told you how your tie back could be better. Your kanais were to move, oh boy, to be fluid and not to hesitate. How to go?
Again, I stuck in one place. I kind of swayed a little, and I thought about moving, but I don't know why my feet didn't move.
Yeah.
And then I spoke too quickly.
Okay, well, just to amuse me, can you tell us about your morning and move 3 times right now? One thing, and before you start, I want to say to everybody, if you don't move in practice at home with a friend, not a mirror, you're not going to move here in class. You got to do it in practice. So tell us about your morning and move 3 times properly.
So this morning I woke up at 8:45. I took a shower. I went to class. I printed when I came to this class.
Okay, well, let me critique your movement. First off, yeah, you don't turn to the side when you move. Always keep facing front. You step in the direction you're going to move with that foot first. 1, 2, 3 steps to the left. Stop. Speak a while. Tell us about your morning. Then come to the right. 5 steps with keeping cheated forward as you're talking and walking. Keep talking over there to Sarah and Pharaoh. And then, after you've talked to them a while, then lead with your left foot and come back to center and talk to me. Okay, do it again. Isa too.
So this morning I woke up at 8:45. I took a shower, and then I got dressed and came to class, and then
keep talking to the side. Keep talking to the side.
I went to class, and then so I had a 2-hour class. Got up, left, went to go print my friend's resume for her upcoming interview.
Cheated forward, more cheated forward as you're walking 5 steps. Yeah.
Went to my friend's for her interview, and then after that I got a croissant at SAC, and then I came to this class for the speeches.
Keep talking.
And now I'm in this class practicing my walking.
Okay, and when you watch yourself tonight on YouTube, you will see that when you walk back this way, you turn. Remember, cheek forward. Let's give Atu a nice round of applause. Okay, that brings us to Christina. Okay, so I guess she's dead. Daniel, my brother.
Is your brother named Daniel?
That's a song. Oh, you never heard it by Elton John? Elton John song? You never heard of an Elton John song called Daniel, my brother?
No, I haven't.
You better get it. But it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. Just a moment, Daniel. And while there's a delay, bond with your audience. Ask Cynthia there how her day is going.
How's your day?
Feeling well. Thank you.
Help me with keeping Daniel in focus, if you would, please. Daniel, take a step forward, if you would, please. You're looking like you're afraid of the audience. Never be right at the wall. Yeah, good. Daniel's managing attention. Clear your voice for them. They're talking, communicating respect. Make sure she doesn't text. Communicating respect, finding friendly eyes near the front and the center. Say your name, feel the love, start your speech.
Hi, I'm Daniel.
Hi, Daniel.
I remember not long ago asking my grandfather, who's 85 years old, what he regrets doing most in life. And what his answer was very surprising to me. Without any hesitation or thought, he told me nothing. What I regret most is the things I haven't done. And this idea of not experiencing everything you wanted to experience is something that really struck a chord in me. Because I personally feel like I have not lived my life the way I have wanted to live it. So today I'll tell you guys my personal commitment to taking advantage of the moment. I will tell you 2 reasons and 3 actions that I've taken to demonstrate this personal commitment of mine. And I think you guys will be interested because I might just convince you how important our youthful times are. Okay, my first reason is that I think up until now I have spent too much time and energy thinking about what others are doing and not interested enough about what I'm doing. And what this basically means is I'll be on, not long ago for example, I was with a friend and we were at dinner and we went 30 minutes into dinner before I realized we had only said a few words. The entire time we were on Snapchat, texting, looking at Facebook, Instagram, not actually making conversation. And I find this to be a very, very big problem because I think connecting with people and actively making relationships is very important. And I felt completely horrible about how self-obsessed everyone is about social media and about trying to make their image good instead of really taking advantage of the experiences. The second reason I'm personally committed to taking advantage of the moment is that I feel like up until now also I have focused too much on the future and doing things for the future rather than trying to do stuff for my present Daniel. And what this means is, as a kid who just finished junior year of high school, which is a very, very hard academic time for me, I had basically used all my time up for school, for extracurriculars, for anything but really having fun. And I realized I'm only a high schooler for 4 years, and this is could be some of the most fun times of my life with very little actual responsibilities. So this too has really affected me and made me feel horrible about the way I've been spending my time. Now I would like to tell you guys some actions I've taken for my personal commitment. There's 3 actions. The first action is that I have sort of tried to stay away from social media. And by that I mean when I have friends over, I try to keep my phone away from me and try to hide it and try to really connect with my friends and talk to them instead of trying to look at what other people are doing. The second thing that I've done is that I have stopped trying to rely on the future as my motivation and enjoyment. And what I mean by this is many times during the school year when it's a weekend and there's nothing going on, instead of trying to make the most of what the weekend is and trying to plan something fun, I will sort of just look forward to something that's happening in 2 weeks that might be fun. And so what I've started doing now is, like, for example, a few days ago, I had the house to myself. So at 8 o'clock, I decided I had to throw an impromptu get-together with some of my friends. And we ended up having a great time. And this is something I really don't do, and I realized I should be doing, taking advantage of it, being a little rebellious, and using the time well. The third action I have taken is to focus on things that I've sort of dropped because of all the schoolwork over the year, and this primarily means music. I have always loved making music and playing music, and because music is not something I'm going to be doing as a career and not really fitting into my resume much, I've sort of not practiced music, not really focused on it, and I started producing music, electronic music, and playing guitar again, and wrote a song. It was my first song, which was actually very exciting for me. And from making all these changes, I felt way more alive and determined to make each day the best it can be. So I hope you guys would also. In summary, I have shown you 2 reasons and 3 actions that I've taken to achieve this personal commitment of mine of taking advantage of the present. There should be no doubt in this room that I am personally committed to taking advantage of the present. So when I'm a granddad and my grandchild asks me what I want to do, what I regret when I through life, I want to make sure there is nothing I regret, and I enjoyed every moment of my life, spending it doing the best things I could.
Thank you.
6 minutes, 6 seconds.
6 minutes, 6 seconds. Stay up there for your feedback, please. Daniel, where are we? You've done it already, so here. Thank you for waiting respectfully outside.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
I liked his tie back and his stories and quotes from real life. That's it.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. Okay, yeah. And improvement?
Hi, I'm Pedro.
Hi, Sarah.
I also love this speech. It's, I think, better.
Better than his last one. Any improvement?
No.
No. I have to improve myself
Yes.
before I can improve you.
Actually,
Well spoken. Okay, Daniel, my brother, let's talk about your speech. You started with a quaint story, which was interesting. Kind of left us hanging a little. You talked to your 85-year-old grandfather, and you asked him, what do you most regret doing in life? And he said, nothing. And he said, what I do regret is things I didn't do. Interesting answer, by the way. And I think I would be intrigued, you don't have to answer this question, I'd be intrigued to hear what things he didn't do that he felt he wanted to do that he should have done. But it would have been interesting to hear about that. In any case, it was a good intro and segue, just we could picture you and you talking to your grandfather and that sort of thing. I would have liked, so when you got back to your ending, so you say when your grandkids ask you, you kind of tie back to the grandfather-grandkids thing, and so that was okay. So you got the whole circle going, so that was okay. So you understood the concept. You say you want to take advantage of the present and live in the moment, and this is your commitment. And you want to convince the audience to live their youth, right? Not waste or let it get away, right? Yeah. So the first story you told us was you went to dinner with a friend. You hardly talked. You both were on your phones doing snapshots and I don't know what else. Facebook, but you didn't even talk. Okay story, kind of sad story. Sounded kind of typical to me. When I look around in restaurants, I see an awful lot of this going on these days. It's sort of sad. Not particularly personal or private, but a story. And one that sort of goes to a quality of your life that you're not happy with, right? Yeah. Okay. Your second reason or story had to do with you telling us that you're a junior in high school and you're sucking up all your time getting ready for college prep and classes and you're ignoring your music and that sort of thing and your focus is on school, right?
Yeah.
And that sort of, you want to change that a little bit, change that around a little bit. Again, that's a good reason. Wasn't particularly personal, but it was a reason. The actions were consistent with your PC. I think these things will help you achieve your PC, getting rid of the social media, not using it so much. Just have impromptu parties and sort of thing. They were all consistent with your PC. And how you felt alive, you felt good, that was all good. And there's no doubt in this room you're enjoying life as it comes. The tie back was fine. Your improvement was saying more emotions, more dynamic, and put in something unexpected. Tell us how that all went, Daniel.
Well, I think just the way I wrote the speech, I probably should have had more like unexpected and like interesting substance in it. So I don't know how well I did on those three things, but
yeah, I didn't see much unexpected. I wasn't real surprised by anything you said, honestly. The emotions, I got a sense just of your general angst about your life. Which was okay. But I think you could have expressed more of it and done better. But overall, you got the job done and you did a good job. Thank you. Okay. Is that it on the PCs? Oh, one more. Ooh, let's see. Yeah, I think. Okay, we'll try to make it. We're on red, but it's only a minute. Let's see. Yeah, let's do it. Oh, well, before we start this, who's ready? Is there any other PCs? Who's ready to do their persuasive speech today? Big pregnant side. Do you have your computer with you today?
yeah.
Your laptop?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I can change the battery. Is it an Apple?
Yes.
Oh, good. He's on the light side of the force. Well, then, we don't have to take a chance.